Hello, I'm back. I'm Helen. I'm from Crochet Moments. I live in Leicester with my husband and my two girls, and this is the place that I created to talk about all things crafting. I mostly knit and crochet. I do a little bit of cross stitch and I dabble in a lot of other things. I've just remembered something that's over the other side of the living room, so I shall go and get that in a moment to show you something from my Secret Santa. So yes, it's been more than a little while since I last filmed anything, and that is mainly because I've just been so busy. so busy. Since I've been promoted at my job, I've been exhausted by the time I get home, and various other things, obviously with the run up to Christmas, lots of things going on, sort of work Christmas out, brownies Christmas out. I was going to do something a week or so ago, but I've only just got over a really bad chest infection. So yeah, that is where I've been. I've just come every evening that I've had the opportunity to film something, I've been too tired, or I've just not felt that I've got enough crafting done. And yeah, so I'm back. I will not promise on a schedule of videos. I'm going to be as regular as I can. I would like to get back to that every fortnight, but I'm not sure if that's a realistic goal for me, but I'll certainly try my best to do at least once a month at the very least. My plan for this year is also to try and include a few sort of day in the life type blogs. We're hoping to go out on lots of day trips over the course of this next 12 months. Tomorrow we're going for a walk, well, weather depending, to Sherwood. We're not walking to Sherwood Forest, we're going to drive to Sherwood Forest to have a walk around Sherwood Forest. So I might bring my do a little bit of filming while we go around. It would be great just to include a few of those, because I know that's really appreciated by some of my viewers. They do enjoy seeing the girls enjoying their time out and about. I will have to have a sit down and chat with the girls to see if they're still okay with being filmed. Obviously, Catherine being a teenager now, she's a little less happy to be filmed. So yeah, so I am wearing a jumper that I knit myself. This was with the Sirdar, the yarn, I can't remember the name of the yarn. It's a Sirdar yarn, it's an Aran weight, it is an acrylic, and I love this jumper. I wear this jumper quite a lot, especially on chilly days like today. For those of you not living in the UK, we have just had a really cold snap, which was not fun to be back out and about in after just finishing a week in bed from being poorly, but I'm thankfully over that now. And I thought a great way to kick off my 2024 videos and get myself in the groove again, because I can't remember what you've seen and what you haven't seen in regards to things I've worked on. Finishes wise, I haven't finished a lot. I did finish the Advent in time. I will see if I can find a photograph. I know Simon took some photos around Christmas time of the Advent calendar, so I'll see if I can find a picture of that and get that inserted somewhere. I also, for my Secret Santa, I knit a nudie knit. Now let me find the picture, because obviously I've already gifted it, so I don't have the picture the actual item anymore. So some of you might remember last year that I was gifted a Nuddy Knits knitting pattern book. So this Nuddy Knits is a there's a whole YouTube channel of somebody's knitted a world and they've animated it, and it's a nudist village. So everybody is anatomically correct, and I, as a bit of a jokey gift, decided to make this for the person who I pulled on my Secret Santa with the brownies. So there is a photo that everybody takes the mickey out of him about. On holiday one year, he got a little bit tipsy and was dared to wear one of those mankinis a la Borat, if you're familiar with the film. So I decided to make one of the male Nuddy Knit and make him a mankini. So that is him. And there's the back. So he was very well received. Everybody loved him. But he took a long time to make. But he was a lot of fun to make too. So what are my WIPs? Now, some of this, as I was pulling them out, I have decided that 2 of these projects are going to be frogged. They're both knitted projects, so when I get to those I will show you which ones they are. So I'm trying, especially with my knitted projects, because my knitted WIPs are starting to pile up a little bit, I am trying to get on a little bit of a finishing fix on these. So I did accidentally start something new while I was poorly, so I'll finish that first before I go back to finishing the one project I decided needs to be off my needles. And then I'm going to start rotating through some of the others, get them done, get them off the needles, so that I can have a more manageable pile of WIPs. I'm highly unlikely to go back to monogamous knitting. I do get bored with working on a project monogamously. However, I appreciate that would help me see more things finished. So I'm not saying I'm not going to be knitting monogamously. I'm going to try to knit monogamously, and I'm amazed I can see that word at the moment, because I am a little bit tired and fuzzy still from my illness. So I'm going to show you what I'm working on at the moment. So the WIP that is currently active, and that is the Abigail fairy dress that I am crocheting for Emily. So this is I can't remember, I think it is a paid for pattern, but it wasn't very expensive, and it has been living in my Chatsworth tote. Now, I bought this when we went on a day trip to Chatsworth because I like these kinds of totes for project bags, and I do like a nice pretty tote, even if it's just to take out shopping with me. So the yarn I'm using, now I will be getting this cake out to actually work from today, because Emily's had a bit of a growth spurt, and I thought a dress, I could have squeezed a dress out of one cake. I'm definitely going to need to go into the second cake. So this is the Yarn Art and the Flowers colour range. This doesn't have a colour name, it's just colour 265. And it is 55% cotton, 45% pack. Now, I think pack is just another word for a type of acrylic. This is really nice yarn to use. It's 1,000 meters, I think. Yes, there's 1,000 meters in the cake. So it's essentially a much cheaper version than the Sheepy's wool. So you still get your 1,000 meters. And I think I paid about £8 each for these. So, so this is the colour that Emily chose. regular viewers would remember the dress that I made for Catherine. Was out of a different colour, but the same yarn. And yeah, so on the dress I started from the outside in. When I start this, I'm going to go inside out until it's long enough. I did get Emily to try it on earlier, and it's just at her hips at the moment, so here it is. So I've got this lovely little yoke at the top. I managed to not make the armholes too big, like I did with Catherine's dress, and I didn't give it as long a body either as I did with Catherine's. So just went, I think I did about 10-15 rows for the body. I went straight into the skirt because Emily wants this to be as swirly as possible, and it does swirl. So Catherine's dress was definitely very swirly. Now the colours are amazing. I was a bit unsure about when Emily chose these colours. I felt it might be a little bit too grey and dark, but when it's on her, it looks amazing. And I'm glad that she asked me to start from the dark to the light, and I'm glad she did because it looks amazing. I just love the colours. Absolutely beautiful colours. And yes, I've got this much left of the cake. I'm using my 3.5mm Clover Amour hook on this one. Not all of these crochet projects still have hooks in them, so I'm going to be guessing a lot of the time what so one thing I did notice when I was pulling out all of these, I have one crochet blanket pattern on the go. However, I've not worked on that for quite a few months, and I need to decide whether or not I'm continuing with it. So I do need to find a crochet blanket pattern that I want to start. Ideally, I want to work out of my stash. I know I say this every year, but I have gone the last 2023. I did manage to go through 2023, not by accumulating more yarn than the subscriptions that I have. Yes, I had an advent, which I'll be showing you because that was beautiful, and I also had a Christmas Eve box, but I haven't bought too much outside of that. I have already ordered a Valentine's yarn box from Rosie's Moments. I've had yarn from there in the past and quite liked it, and I just was scrolling through Instagram and noticed that she was listing them on her site ready to sale. My knitting account was looking quite healthy, so I treated myself. It wasn't vastly expensive. So when that arrives in time for Valentine's in a couple of weeks, I'll have that to show you as well. Okay, so I'm going to show you my active knitted WIP next. So this is a brand new WIP, and it is using this knitting pattern. I'm going to cause an avalanche now. Ooh. There we go. So I saw this on Facebook. On one of the feeds that I follow, I noticed somebody shared that they had found a knitting pattern book where you knit your socks flat. Now I was very intrigued. I do like the idea. Oh, my needles have fallen out. Okay, I'll find that. I did have to buy some needles to go with it because I don't have any 2.25 needles straight, or even a long enough circular to work things straight. Anyway, so I came across this pattern book, so I went straight onto Amazon and ordered it along with the needle that I'd need. And there are some fantastic socks in here, absolutely beautiful socks. Now I am starting, with one called Green Leaves of Summer, and it's just a vanilla sock. Ooh, there goes my bits of paper where I am recording where I am and my row numbers. So while I was bedbound, I finished my first sock. So here it is. So there's the one side. So you cast on similar numbers of stitches actually to if you are knitting in the round. And it's a heel flap and gusset. Why am I holding it that way? You can't see it properly. It's a heel flap and gusset. And then you crochet slip stitch all the way down. I love this. This sock is amazing. It fits quite a lot better for me than a sock I've knit in the round. Also with my I knit on DPNs, and I don't think I'm getting my tension right as I go around. So sometimes the stitches are a little bit strange looking, and also where I go from one needle to the next, I sometimes end up, it's not a ladder, but you can see where that goes. They do block out. After they've been washed, they do block out, but there is none of that with this. All of the stitches look nice and even. There's no lines where I've changed from between the needles. I haven't, obviously, because I've only finished one sock. I haven't worn them, so I can't comment as to how this seam will wear in my shoe. But when I've put it on to try it on, I haven't felt it on my foot. So it's not. So, but yes, so there's that one. And the yarn is the part 1 from the Winnie the Pooh subscription from Attic Spin Dye. It's been sat on my shelf and I've been looking at it and looking at it and look at it. Oh, I want to knit something with it. I want to knit something with it. And when I found this book, I was like, I don't care. Everything else has been put to one side. I am knitting with it and I love it so much. And there are so many other socks in here that I want to make. It is knit left sock, right sock, because obviously the seam is going to be one way or the other. These ones are very strange. They are socks that you can wear flip-flops with. I won't be making those. There's some really cute little socks for babies. These ones are really nice. I don't know if I can find I can't find a good enough picture, but they have this lovely sort of wrapped stitch cable down the side, and obviously the seam will be worked into that rather than so you may obviously be less likely to see it. Then there's these beauties. Then there's those. So I want to make all of these socks. All of them. There's some DK ones in there. There's even an Aran pair. These ones are absolutely stunning. I love those. I'm making those. And some of them are heel flap and gusset. Some of them are a different heel. I think it's sort of almost like a wrap heel, which in the round I'm not so good. I really want to make these. Those would be amazing for hanging around the house in. I have to make those. I quite like these, though I might do them in slightly different colours. I should have put little post-its in, shouldn't I? And I quite like these, but I don't think I'll be doing the coloured stripe at the top. I quite like just the pattern going down them without the stripe. There's the... See, these absolutely amazing cabled socks. It's amazing. Really, really can't wait to work on all of these socks. I'm not sure I like those socks. I'm not. These ones are really cute. So they have a cable pattern around the top, and they're gingerbread men and snowmen. Oh, excuse me. There's these really cute flowered argyle socks. Again, I'm not sure about those ones. That I'd like to give them a try. Now, have we got a better picture? There they are. These are what drew me. Those socks are beautiful. I really want those socks. And I don't like those ones. There's these ones where they look like they're little tuxedos. So some of them sort of, you're not sure, but it's like I found a whole new world. I'm not going to stop working socks in the round because I enjoy that too. But I've just discovered a whole new world, and this sock knit up like in half the time that a sock in the round knits up for me. And I don't know if that's just because I'm always fiddling with the needles, and it's a bit of a faff going from one needle to the next. I don't know, but they knit up so incredibly fast. Granted I was in bed all day, but I knit this in a day. I think I finished, I had about that much to do, and see the seaming on the second day. So I started it on the Friday morning. I didn't do as long a cuff. I don't like, I don't like knitting rib to start with, but I did shorten the cuff a little bit. But those are most definitely going to be worked on next week. So today is Saturday, tomorrow is a cross stitch day, so any crafting time that I get, I'll be working on my cross stitch. And then from Monday, I'll be knitting again. So I'll be working on those. And I can't wait to have a knitted pair of socks, almost definitely in time for next weekend. I don't know what we're doing next weekend. Oh, actually, no, I do. I'm at work on a Saturday, so I won't be wearing them then. I wear a skirt and tights for work, but certainly maybe on the Sunday I'll wear them to church. So my next project I'll show you might as well be this one because it's right here. So this is the other project that I'm keen to get off my needles, and I'm very, very close to finishing. This is the Painting Honeycombs shawl by Stephen West, and this is using my 2021 advent. Yes, I think it was 2021 advent. Here it is. So the Yarn for the Soul did the colours, and the grey is from Attic Spin Dye. This is all the grey I have left. So I'm going to keep going until I run out of grey or get to the end of the coloured stripes. I'm going one last repeat of all of the colours. So here it is. I don't know how much of this you can see. It's really big. It's huge and it's amazing. I love this so much. I cannot wait to have this to wrap around me. I will either wear it as a shawl, it's way too big to wear as a scarf, or I'll just have it as a blanket and wear it around the house, like I've been using this. Oh dear, these cushions, the girls like to sit on the top. I knew that was going to happen. The girls like to sit on the top here, which pushes the cushions down, and it's really hard to get them back up. So yes, this is what I've been using this week, just to keep warm, sitting in the sofa with this on, doing my crochet, and I just love it. I do wear it around the house quite a lot, and occasionally wear it as a shawl when I'm out and about on the slightly warmer days where I don't need a coat, but just something over my shoulders to keep me warm. Okay, so wet the whistle, let's get carrying on. I do want to just show you these really cute needle stoppers that my girls bought me for Christmas. I can't remember where they bought. I do have the card for them somewhere. There they are. Look how cute they are, the little llamas. I did ask for some needle stoppers for Christmas, completely forgetting that I had some in here. So, excuse me. Right, okay, so yes, painting honeycombs. So this is a really easy pattern. I would recommend it if you are a beginner who wants to play around with colour, because is not proper colour work. You are working in stripes, you're just slipping the stitches. And you don't have to go as huge as this. This is fingering weight, so I'm sure if I was using double knit, this would have been, well, with this many meters in it, it would be twice as large probably. But it's definitely lovely and squishy. I don't know how severely I'm going to block this, because I quite like the squishiness of the honeycombs, although I appreciate that if I were to block it, I'd get even more size out of it and show a lot more of the colour. So the colours go from there to there. So I'm on this colour on at the moment. So that means I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11 colours left to do. So I can get a stripe of colour done in about an evening. So using that logic, I think 2 weeks worth of knitting on this and it's done. Done, out the way. So I'm going to have 1 week on that sock, get those socks finished, and then 2 weeks on that. So I think I'm going to go out on a limb and say by the end of February, this is going to be finished. So Stephen West, this pattern is a paid for pattern. I did cheat a little bit. I got a PayPal voucher emailed to me, and so I used that. So I only actually had to put about 50 pence to the cost of the pattern. I've been using the Weave and Stephen method for my ends. I haven't trimmed them yet, but I will. It will just be trimming them. I won't need to do any more weaving in at all. Some of them I might do because I've maybe not gone enough stitches, but it's fine. I don't mind. I'm weaving, sieving them, trying to go until they won't go anymore comfortably. I'm enjoying this so much. And here's all of the yarn. I still have a lot of the little things that came in the advent in here. So some wool needles, a few sachets of eucalyptus. See those stops that I showed you. There were some I must have taken them out. There were some stitch markers in here as well. I must have taken those out to use. But I've just messed some of those colours up, so I'm going to have to sort them all out again next time I get this out. But I've loved knitting on that. The size of it hasn't bothered me all that much. I'm definitely going to look into some more Stephen West patterns. I have bought the Slipstravaganza. That's on my list of wanting to do. The Garter Abyss. I haven't got that pattern yet, but I intend on buying that pattern at some point when I reduced my WIPs. What can I say? Okay, so let's show the other sock WIP that I have, just because I have the pattern book here. So for my birthday, was it last year? I think it was last year. I said to Simon I didn't really want a present, and I said, just take me somewhere nice for the day, and we went hiking in the Peak District. We love the Peak District. And on the way home, he surprised me with a visit to a yarn shop. Now I can't, I think it might have been Peak District Yarns. I can't remember the name of the dyer. I don't think I have the information here. But anyway, so as part of that visit, he did treat me to the pattern book. I bought the yarn and he bought the pattern book. So I have started the first pair of socks that are in here, the Francis socks. Lovely socks in here. I'm sure I've already shown you all the patterns. This is living in my little bag, which is from Knit Me Sane, who is no longer selling yarn or bags, which is just a shame because she does some beautiful yarn, beautiful bags. I haven't used all of my Knit Me Sane yarn yet. So there's my little book. Okay, so this was this a giftable? I can't remember. So I did start another sock with this, but I pulled it out because I lost where I was and I can't find the colourway of this yarn. I don't have the thingy in here. I do have some short circulars, a sock needle. I must try and get back into using those, because just DPNs, while I like using DPNs, they can be so fiddly, and I wondered when that sock knits up so fast, and if it was just because I wasn't having to keep swapping needles around. Anyway, here is my progress on this. There's not been a lot of progress made. I don't tend to make the legs of my socks terribly long, so I probably will do another 3, maybe 4 repeats before I then decide to get on with the heel. I don't tend to wear long socks, so why knit long socks if I'm not going to wear them long? Let's just slide that down so I don't lose any stitches. That would be a disaster. But I love this yarn, and I wish I could remember who it is. I think it is a Rosie's Moments yarn. And I can't remember if this is a yarn I got out of one of the mystery bags, or if this was a giftable that I bought, that I pulled out all of the bits and pieces out of. I can't remember. The reason I think it's a giftable is just because of the fact that it's a ball and not a cake. Most of my yarn, I mean, this one's balled up because I was in bed. So in my room I have nowhere to set up my Swift and my yarn winder. So I just sat and had the skein around my knees and I was just doing this to wind it up. But I do want to get on with these and get those done as well. I might at some point try and make a list in some sort of order as to which orders I want to get things finished, or I could just, all of my knitting projects are still in my decision wheel, which hasn't been used for a little while. I could just get that finished and then spin to find out what project is the next one to finish. I don't know. So there's that WIP. Let me show you my cross stitch, because that's the next thing on the pile. So this is a Heaven and Earth's design. Amulet and Emmeline. Excuse all the scribbles. So I am halfway down. I think yes, it's this one. So I'm almost at the green part here on it. Excuse me. So I'm about maybe 2/3 of the way down that page. So this is rather a large cross stitch with rather a lot of threads and colours. So let's just take this off out of the hoop so that I can show you. So the fabric is starting to get a bit grubby, so but I don't want to wash it until I've finished it. And when I do wash it, it will just be a gentle soak in warm soapy water so that none of the colours bleed into each other, because that would be devastating. I've been working on this for so long. So here it is so far. So I've got one more full page of pattern left, and then everything else are part pages. So I'm hopeful I could get this finished this year. But I do need to stick to every Sunday working on it if I'm going to achieve that goal. I have lots of these types of patterns. My next cross stitch that I work on is, I think I might choose something a little less involved. So this is 25 count fabric. I stitch one thread over one, which is very economical. However, it just takes so long. I'm on page 13, so this is 12 pages worth of work, and it takes a long time. So depending on how much sort of colour change, so this section here took a long time, so changing the colour quite a lot, but depending on how much colour changes and things, it takes about 20 to 25 days to finish one full A4 page. So I do need to just work hard. And Sundays can be quite busy days, so it's not a day where I always get a whole day for working on it. I do sometimes pick it up on a Saturday evening. If tonight I might pick it up. I'm getting a little bit bored with the dress, and I'm aware that I'm going to be out nearly all day tomorrow. We're out walking in the morning. In the afternoon the girls have their swimming lessons, so it's not really until in the evening that I'm going to have any crafting time. And then I've got school uniforms to iron, work uniform to iron, and I might even be too tired and go to bed early. Who knows? So that's the plan. So I might pick this up tonight and work on it for an hour or two tonight while we're watching television with Catherine. We're watching Downton Abbey with Catherine at the moment. We're starting to introduce her to some slightly more grown-up programmes. Now she's 13 and she's hooked, completely and utterly hooked to Downton Abbey. So that's that. So next project in the pile is this one. Now this is living in my Yarningham bag. Now I don't think I've shown you this bag. I visited Birmingham during December, so no, I wouldn't have shown you this bag. and there was a yarn shop which I had to go visit. Luckily I managed to get there before they closed, and I bought this tote and a skein of DK yarn, which is upstairs, and I think it was Fruit Fusions. I'm wanting to say it was a Fruit Fusions yarn, but don't quote me on that one. It's upstairs in my stash somewhere. Living in this bag anyway is my Advent project for Christmas just gone. Okay, let's get that out. Ooh. Oh, I haven't put my Christmas Eve yarn in here yet. So my Christmas Eve box yarn, wherever that is, I'll dig that one out somewhere, needs to go in with that. So actually I might go find that now. Right, so I've got my Christmas Eve yarn now, so I can show you all of the colours that's going into this. So I bought the Advent yarn from Attic Spin Dye this year. Well, this Christmas just gone. So he did an Advent where you got 4 100-gram yarns with a 20-gram mini, and there were a couple of chocolates in each box, and each colour was themed along a Christmas card, a vintage Christmas card. So I decided I was going to make a very large granny triangle. So here it is so far. So the week one's colours, so this was the mini and this was the main colour, and I love how it's worked up. Then we've got the mini for week 2 was this lovely blue, and there's the main colour for week 2. And then week 3's mini sort of blends in quite nicely with week 2's main colour. It's this sort of lovely creamy beige colour. And then we're into week 3. So that is all of that. So it is literally, I am just literally granny stitch. There's nothing different that I'm doing. I just making sure to do an increase at each end on every row. I'm just going down through the yarn. Obviously the yarn is taking fewer rows each time, and here's the cake of yarn. I just love the colours. The colours are just amazing. There actually might be an extra yarn to go in with this from the yarn that Simon bought me for Christmas from the girls. I'll dig that one out as well actually. So this one was week 4, I think. I might have got 3 and 4 mixed up. I'd taken them out of their boxes to make some space. So there's week 4, I believe. Just beautiful, beautiful colours. And I do actually have, so there were 2 of the cards that came in here. So they did have little stitch markers, and most of them have gone into my little box. That one hasn't. But here is one of the cards. And there's the other one. They've got a little bit crumpled. I don't know what's happened to the other 2, but they're absolutely just delightful, beautiful yarns. I can't remember what size hook I was using for that one. I think it was a 3.5, so I might just use my 3.5 from the dress when it's finished. So this was my Christmas Eve box. Now I haven't actually taken anything out of this yet. I do need to sit and pick some of there was this lovely sort of shredded paper packaging in here, and it's stuck to the yarn. But this was the Christmas Eve yarn. It's called Baubles. So this one might find its way into that shawl as well. And in the box, I've been so good, I haven't eaten the edibles. I haven't been terribly well though. So there's this cute little chocolate bar. pencil with Attic spin dye. I don't know if you'll be able to see that. Let me just block myself out. That's clever. I like that a lot. I've got some Made with Love wooden labels, a tea, this really cute cross stitch kit, which I was tempted to start over Christmas, but I really do need to focus on my big one and get that one done and out of the way first. A hot chocolate spoon. I might have that on Thursday. I've got a day off on Thursday to get caught up on some of the admin side of things for the Girl Guides and my church, because I'm treasurer for both. So I need to get some of the admin finished for that. Some beautiful Christmas stitch markers or progress keepers, however you like to use them. And then this really cute, and it smells amazing. I don't know if this is a soap. I think it might be a soap. Or if it's... So a couple of years ago, their Christmas Eve box had like a hand moisturiser, but this one doesn't seem to be melting as much in my hand. So I'm leaning towards this being a soap anyway. That was a lot of words to say that, wasn't it? So yeah, so I can't... There might have been a couple of other little bits that I may have taken out already, but I can't remember. I've been asleep since then. But I loved it. And this is... How many Christmas Eve boxes have I had now from Andy? I definitely had last year's and this year's. I don't know if he'd done... No, because I think the year before I had Knit Me Sane because Andy wasn't doing them then. I think that might be what it was. And he listened to my hints and he did them. So yes, so that yarn is highly likely to find its way into that shawl anyway. Okay, now I picked this up while I was getting the Christmas Eve box. This was got for me from my Secret Santa, but I also got a new Nuddy Knits book, a Christmas version. But I shan't show you that. It's on a bookshelf somewhere. So I was given, excuse this crinkling, a diamond painting kit. So it's live every moment, laugh every day, love beyond words. And I'm about a third of the way down. Actually I'm almost halfway. Haven't worked on this much or at all over the last week or so, just because poorliness. So there's all the little crystals. It's something that I've sort of been intrigued about. I don't think it's going to become a regular craft of mine, mainly because I have so many others. I need to devote some time to that. But I have been enjoying doing it, so I still haven't worked out which of my brownie friends bought me this one, but I have been enjoying it. Okay, so next project. I haven't worked on this in so long. This is in a bag that was made for me by the absolutely lovely Soffity, who lives in Australia, and the little kangaroo keyring. And I love this. She made it herself. It's just absolutely amazing. I still have the letter that she wrote in here as well. What's that? Okay, so in here is living my... What's the name of this blanket called? Oh no, but the needles come out. That doesn't matter because I have been considering frogging this and making something else anyway, so that doesn't matter then. Yeah, so this is one of the projects I'm going to frog. I've enjoyed doing it when I have worked on it, but I'm not enjoying the way the colours are pooling, so I'm definitely going to get rid. I'm going to rip it. I'm going to rip it and try and find another project for these 3 lovely balls of Hayfield Spirit. Well, this one wasn't a full ball because I did an amigurumi out of it. So it's the Hayfield Spirit. I bought 3 balls of this in this colourway. And I've just not really got into working on it all that much, so it's going to be frogged. So I'll put that to that side so I can frog it and get the yarn back on the shelf so I can look at it and know it's there and decide what I'm going to make with it. Okay, so next project is my current out and about project. Now, normally my out and about projects have been socks. However, my discovery of the Tin Can Knits app has provoked me into starting a flax jumper, and this one is for Emily. I am getting quite far down the body now. Actually, let's get those needle stoppers out of there and put them on these, because I'm worried I'm going to lose stitches. Let's put these out. Took me a long time working out what these were. There we go. That saves me worrying about stitches being lost. So yeah, so this is the flax. It's in DK Stylecraft Candy Swirl. I bought that from Wool Warehouse while it was on sale ages and ages ago. It was sat on my shelf for a long time, and I decided I'm going to make Emily a jumper out of it. I hope and pray I have enough yarn for this jumper for Emily. It does, the meterage that the pattern says is ever so slightly less than the meterage that I have. So I'm hoping that I can get away with it. So I do need to get this on some waste yarn so I can get Emily to try it on, so I can see how much further down the body I need to work. So I've got that much of the body done. Actually, I might just dig one of her jumpers out and see. But I'll take this with me tomorrow. I can knit it in the car. It'll be too cold to knit it as I walk around. And then I'll have the sleeves to work on. So that's that. And I'm working on Addi needles for these. I'm sort of leaning more towards Addi than Knit Pro lately, but Addis aren't as easy to get hold of for me. None of my yarn shops sell Addis. Okay, now this is another project that I am considering frogging. This is living in a really cool tote that I bought from Lakeland. This had a little treats hamper in it. Like it had some biscuits and some toffees and some tea bags and things like that in it. And I only bought it because I wanted the bag. It was on sale, otherwise I wouldn't have bought it. So this is, so I bought a knit in a box, mystery box for men's patterns with the intention of making this for Simon. Now, as I've worked on it, I haven't got very far, so it's not the end of the world that I've decided to frog this. I've just got this much done. Now, Simon doesn't really wear things with patterns on. He mostly wears plain stocking stitch style sweaters, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to rip this back. I'm going to find another Aran weight jumper pattern for him. I might even do a flax for him in this. I'm sure it's Aran weight. Yes, so it's the Highland Heathers Aran and the colour is Cairn. So I might even start him a Tin Can Knits flax. Just make him a flax. Although I have wondered about making the flax without the pearl bumps down the arm for him, rather than all of these cables. So I just thought it's a lot of work, and I don't think that Simon's going to wear it as much if with the cables. So I'm going to frog it. I'm going to frog it. So that's 2 to frog. My third to frog is living in this lovely little bag, and this bag, is this the one that was given to me by, I can't remember if this is the bag that was given to me by a viewer. I think it was, and I'm very sorry, but right this second your name escapes me. So I have 2 bags with cats on, and I know one of them was from her, and I'm 99% sure it was this one. So this was a vintage pattern that I was knitting for Catherine. Now the sad thing is that I am quite a way up the back of this sweater. I've got this much done. This is 4-ply yarn, fingering weight yarn, so this is a lot of work. However, I have not enjoyed working on it. See, I've started reducing the arms. I haven't enjoyed working on it. So if I'm not enjoying working on it, should I continue working on it? Because it'll just take me forever to finish. So I have decided I'm going to frog it. I'm going to go through, I've got lots and lots and lots of vintage patterns. I can find a vintage pattern for her to knit from that maybe I might enjoy a little more. It's not so much the lace. I'm quite enjoyed doing the lace, especially after doing that sort of tutorial. But my tension's all over the place. I don't think, I'll just find another pattern for her to knit for her. So that's another froggy visit from the frog. So I've got my work cut out for me over the next few weeks, all this froggy. Okay, this is living in a bag that I got from Whiskef. Hello Weekend. I got this as, I do have a discount code, I will link it below. Feel free to use it. So this is last year's Expression Fibre Arts crochet along. So this is how far I've got on this. Now, the reason I stopped is I was struggling to find a colour in 100% wool, because I decided to use 100% wool yarn for this. If I'd used acrylic, it would have been a heck of a lot easier to find colours. So I was trying to pick colours that were very close to the colours that were in the crochet along that were being released by Expression Fibre Arts. So I enjoyed working on this. I want to finish it. So I'm going to have to bite the bullet and decide just some other colours. I'm going to need to find some other colours to use and go from there. Just so that I can continue with it. It's got this beautiful mandala in the middle and these patterns that go through. These bobbles are a bit of a nightmare, but I don't, the popcorns, I never enjoyed popcorns, but I've been using the Women's Institute Homegrown, and it is 100% wool, isn't it? Yes, this is 100% wool. I think it was about £7 a ball, so for 100% wool it's very, very reasonably priced. So I do want to continue with that. I just haven't decided whether or not to try and continue finding colours that match, or just go with the flow and just find some other colours. Just go to Hobbycraft, see what other colours they have and just pull them all. So I've been using one of my Crochet Society hooks for this one. I really like the pattern on this one. I like the handles as well. So that one is staying as a WIP. I just need to work out how I'm going about it. Then in here, I don't know what I've done with the... So I've written the pattern out in a book because this is a pattern that Catherine did start, but she never continued. So I frogged what she did. And we were going to knit it together, knitting along. This one I haven't worked on this for ages. Come on, what's going on here? Right. Okay, so here it is. So I am using Attic Spin Dye. This is a 2 skein shawl. So I have this much left of the first skein. And my second skein is here. And it's Christmas Treats. So this was a Christmas Eve yarn from 2022, and then he released it again as a Christmas in July colour. So I am going to finish this. It's going to be one of my finishes for this year. I do need to start with my knitting in particular, because I'm a slow knitter. I do need to sort of limit how many knitted WIPs I have on the go. Okay, so this is one of my long standing WIPs. It's in one of my Aldi totes. I love knitting. I'm going to continue with this, and this is just because I have the yarn all set out, all the patterns are all together in here, and I'm actually learning something from them. I'm learning new stitches, new techniques, and I need to continue with it. So Knit Now magazine, when I first subscribed, gave me yarn. Why else would I subscribe? So I don't have any physical magazines delivered to my house anymore. I use the Readly app, and I have access to a heck of a lot more crochet and knitting magazines than I can shake a stick at, and I just bookmark all of the patterns that I want to do. So this is the Mellow Berries, I believe. Yeah, Mellow Berries shawl. It's a 1 skein shawl. I'm using the called for yarn because so some of them is going to be made using stash yarn, which is all in here. I've sorted it all out, everything goes together, and some of it is going to go as stash yarn. Right, okay, so the yarn is Superba Premium Moulinet. It's 75% virgin wool, 25% polyamide. I'm working on straight needles, although where's the other needle? Ah, the other needle's in here, thankfully. What size is this needle? It's a 4mm needle. Ooh, what's happened there? Oh yes, no, because it's done in sections, isn't it? I thought I'd gone wrong then. No, so it's knit in sections, and so there's a row of garter there that I didn't think was supposed to be in there, but it is. It just separates out the next section of the pattern, where the pattern continues pretty much the same. It's just made, is it longer or wider? I can't remember without looking at the pattern, but this is my first attempt at wrapped stitches. I believe they're wrapped stitches. Yes, they are wrapped stitches. So it's going to be long and thin. It is triangular, but it will be a thin triangle. I hope I don't run out of space on my memory card. I'm almost finished talking about all my WIPs. So there's lots of shawls and patterns and sock patterns, and I will be working my way through those as I get to them. But again, this is going to be a long time going, but I'm going to do my best. That is definitely going to be done. Right, okay, I need another drink of water. Okay, I'm almost out of battery as well as space on my memory card, so I need to try and be quick. Okay, Expression Fibre Arts knit along for last year is this beautiful mosaic knitting shawl. My plan for this is to continue. I was going to just keep changing the colours, but I think I might just keep reusing the other colours until I use them all up. So there's how many? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, so this is up to April. I've got April to finish, and then I'll have May to December to do. So again, this is something I plan on continuing with. I just need to get round to it. And this is living in another bag that I got from Whiskef. Ooh, what's going on here? It's this really cute sloth bag. I do keep getting emails from companies wanting me to take their freebies and things, but I'm not sure. A lot of them are these sort of cheap. Ooh, everything started to lose focus then. These cheap Chinese companies, and I'm not sure how environmentally friendly everything's going to be, especially if it's being shipped from China. So I've made the executive decision that I will only, if I were to be approached from something UK, Europe, I'd be more willing to work with them than anything outside of that. So you won't see any of those, any more of like the Whiskef deals and things. Okay, so this is the Flower Child tee that I have been working from one of the issues of Simply Crochet magazine, and here it is so far. So I've done that so far, and this one here. So I've got another row of these squares to do, to add on. Now the pattern, there was an error in the pattern. The pattern told me to make 22 of these squares. I actually need 44 of them because I have to do the same on the back as the front. So I don't know whether or not I should just suck it up and do more of these squares. These squares killed me. They really killed me. Or do I just work some flat rows to the same size for the back and just have the squares on the front? I don't know. I cannot think what to do with that. These are, oh dear, excuse me. These are mattress stitched together. I quite enjoy mattress stitching things together. And I've still got quite a lot of minis that I've sought out here to add in if I needed to. But I've got like handfuls of these. So yeah, I don't know what to do there. I could do more coloured stripes on the back, or just a solid colour on the back. I might reread the pattern and see where it is that I went wrong, but I definitely want to get that finished in time for the summer, and the spring and the summer, so I can start wearing it. Okay, my last WIP in my WIP parade, in my No Way crochet tote, is my Cozy Memories blanket. Coziest Memories blanket. Okay, let's get this. So this is going to be a very long-term project because I am making it big enough to go on mine and Simon's double bed. So it's going to be huge. I did start working it in a square. The intention was I was going to go, woo, everything went out of focus then. Behave. It's because the battery's running though. Yes, I was going to go round and round and round until it was big enough, and then I thought I'm just going to make it wide enough and then just keep adding in stripes from there. So that's what I'm going to do from now on. But this is how long it is, and I'm just shoving in minis. I've got my blanket balls to go in, and I'm just enjoying the process of that. Okay, so I was going to show you a few other bits and pieces that I have had come in, but I'm running out of battery, I'm running out of space, and you guys are probably fed up of hearing from me right now. I've been talking for, oh gosh, I think I've been going for an hour, at least an hour. So, like I said, I'm going to try and keep more track of more of my progress a little bit more. I'm going to try and be a little bit more organised this year. Future plans for this year, would like to just go on record as saying I'm not going to be doing a blanket along this year. You're welcome to share your blankets and tag me in them, because I do like seeing crochet blankets, but there's just not enough people taking part. If I get enough people to say no please do it, then I might change my mind, but I think there were only about 3 or 4 people who took part last year, so I'm not going to do it this year unless anybody enough people change my mind. So but yeah, so I'm going to leave it there. I have been chattering on for way too long, and I need to have the biggest glass of water because my throat is starting to hurt, and I think my girls are back from getting their hair done. So goodbye.